Okay, welcome to OJG Sports. Today we're going to do a San Antonio Spurs mock draft. This is my first mock draft with the regular season ending a couple of days ago and the playoffs just starting. I want to do a mock draft. I was thinking about doing this after the play-in because it's possible that the Hawks would have lost at that point and they would have had their pick in the lottery, but they could also win and then they could be the 8th seed and possibly even get past round 1. You never know. So I'll just do my end of the season first mock draft. I'm going to do it live right now on my phone. So I have tankathon.com doing a simulation lottery. And in this lottery, the Spurs move down 1 and they get the 9th pick. Mavericks move up a lot. Hornets get the first pick. But obviously we're just mainly focused on the Spurs. And then because right now currently the Hawks are still in the playoff, and if they win the play-in, they'll be the 8th seed, the Atlanta pick that converts to the Spurs is the 15th. So the Spurs in this simulation has the 9th and 15th picks. So now I'm going to go and start the simulation draft. Before I start this simulation, the players that I'm looking for the Spurs, I think we need help in 3 key areas. I think we need shooting. I think that would really help us out, in particular 3-point shooting. I think a defensive player would really help, and I think a player that can rebound, aka a big. So that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for a big and a 3-and-D wing, ideally. So players that are on the top of my board for the Spurs: Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Con Kneppel, Liam McNeely, and Rasheer Fleming. Obviously, players like Cooper Flagg and Ace Bailey more than likely not going to fall to the Spurs unless, again, they get like a top 3 pick. But in this simulation, we have the 9th and 15th pick. And bigs, I'm looking at Colin Murphy-Boyles, Derek Queen, Kaman Malawach, Asa Newell, and Thomas Sorber. So if I get any combination of those 2 players, 1 big and 1 wing/forward, I would be happy. So I'm going to start the simulation. Cooper Flagg goes number 1. So he's off the board. Dylan Harper goes 2. VJ Edgecombe goes 3. I'm not really thinking VJ Edgecombe would be a great pick for the Spurs. He's more of a more guard size, and I just feel like we don't need more guards. We have Fox, we have Castle, we have Vassell, we have Johnson, even have Branham and Wesley. Chris Paul might come back, so I don't feel like we need that. Ace Bailey goes 4th. Derek Queen goes 5th. That hurts. I was hoping Derek Queen would fall to 9. Because honestly, of the players that are realistically on my board, I feel like him and Con Kneppel, Kaman Malawach are the guys I really want to get. At 6, Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. He's an interesting player, but again, Spurs don't need him. And Kaman Malawach goes 7th, so we can't get Kaman Malawach. Trey Johnson goes 8th, so now we're up. And that leaves me with Con Kneppel for the wing/forwards, and with Derek Queen and Kaman Malawach gone, I'm going to have to take Con Kneppel. So in this draft, I have Spurs taking Con Kneppel. I think for the Spurs, he would play small forward. He's 6'6", 217. He's only 19 years old. The best shooter in this draft, probably, at least the safest shooter in my opinion, something the Spurs would desperately need. Would he start? I don't know. That'd be an interesting question, because you think we'd have Fox, Vassell, Sohan, Wemby, or Sohan or Barnes, and then we'd have that small forward spot just open. Whether the Spurs want to put Castle there, I don't think is a good idea, because especially if we have Sohan in the lineup, we need shooting with that lineup. With Fox not being the best shooter, he can shoot it, but he's not the best. Castle's still working on that jump shot. And so, yeah, we definitely need a shooter in that lineup. Would they put Kneppel here? Would they put someone like Champagnie or Barnes in there? I would assume Kneppel wouldn't start there immediately, but I like Kneppel. He seems like a very smart player. He's always making the right plays, making the right reads. He can be a secondary ball handler for possibly the second unit. Maybe not next year if we got him, but in the future. Just, again, his competitiveness, and his IQ on defense. Is a really smart player. Would love for the Spurs to get him, and we get him in this mock. So next, Asa Newell goes to number 10. That's tough. Another big off the board. Jace Richardson, 11. Kasparis Jankuncius. I don't know how to say that last name, from Illinois. He's an interesting player that I low-key, if he's available, not for the Spurs' first pick, like at 8, 9, I don't think we should get him there. If he's available at 15, would the Spurs take a chance on him? He's a very intriguing player. For me personally, probably not, but just a very interesting player. If we needed a guard, I would definitely consider it. Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina goes 13. So the bigs, there's really only one big that I like now. That's Thomas Sorber. That should be available. 14th pick, Noah Esengu. Okay, so he should be there. 15, yeah, we're going to take Thomas Sorber. Now, I like Thomas Sorber. I didn't know much of him until recently, honestly. I was looking at the bigs that the Spurs could get because I do think we will get a big in this draft. And he's a very decent player from what I can tell. 6'10", 255, big body. So he would fill that need immediately for the Spurs needing a backup big. Obviously, we could also sign one, but I really like him. He's a really good rebounder. Great defense, averaging, I think, 2 blocks and 1.5 steals a game. So he's not a good jump shooter, but his finishing tools, post skill, and even his passing were decent watching him play. So that is the mock draft for the Spurs. We ended up getting Con Kneppel and Thomas Sorber. So like I said, I think that's the way the Spurs should go in this, unless someone crazy talented drops to the Spurs. Someone like the Illinois Kasparis guy. If he falls to like that 15, 14 range, do we take a chance on him? But yeah, I think Spurs should get a 3 and D wing. Con Kneppel's not necessarily a 3 and D guy, like some of the other guys, like Rasheer Fleming, like a Cooper Flagg, obviously. And he wouldn't even be a 3 and D. I wouldn't describe him as that, but he could fit into that easily. So let me know what you think about this mock draft. This is my first one. Again, I will do possibly another one once the Hawks are eliminated, so we know that chance of where the Hawks pick would get. I do want to do a dream scenario where it's very outlandish, where the Spurs get like 2 top 10 picks, where we get very lucky in the lottery. I want to do a mock if that happens, because I think it would be very interesting. And then I will do obviously a couple more probably by the time the draft happens. After the lottery for sure I'll do one. Yeah, but let me know what you think of the picks. Let me know what your 2 picks would be for the Spurs right now. And realistically, obviously, you're probably not going to get Cooper Flagg at 9 or 8. Same thing with like guys like Ace Bailey. Even Derek Queen. I see him in a lot of mocks going really early. But yeah, let me know what you think about this mock draft. Let me know what you disagree, agree with.